Hi, everyone. So, with Magic this week, I'm going to talk about a subject that I think is in the air but has not been fully addressed. And that is the question of Vraska. Now, with Vraska, when we were first introduced to Vraska, her card was introduced in Return to Ravnica. She herself was not introduced into the story until much later after that storyline had pretty much ended. She had a confrontation with Jace. Didn't go well for her, but she ran amok and met up with Nicol Bolas and is now agreeing to get the Immortal Sun for Nicol Bolas on Ixalan. But now we've seen her in a new light. Now we actually see that she, despite being black green, um, she's really not an evil character. She's not even really a bad character in terms of alignment. Her goals are a bit self-centered, of course, because of kind of who she is in her nature. But when you really break it down, when you've really actually seen her character, her story, and explanation, maybe we haven't seen everything, but she's she's honestly more positive than Liliana is. She's actually a better person morality wise than Liliana is. Because she wants to basically take charge of her guild, the Golgari, and lead it and rule it, and not with an iron fist, but to help the disenfranchised and kind of put everyone on equal footing. So, but that it now begs the question. At first, they're also kind of hinting at there's an attraction or romance there. I'm like, you know what? I kind of want them to go with that a little bit. That would be a little cool. But so the question becomes when is by the end of this story, first off, Jace is going to get his memory back eventually. That's just going to happen. But when that happens, will they still be on good terms? Will Vraska change? Maybe like see some of the era of like working with a malevolent dragon, planeswalker dragon. And would she possibly be the next member of the Gatewatch? If you think about it, it makes a little bit of sense. It's not as crazy as you may think, just because of the nature of who she is. Now, granted, she's more interested in and her needs and the Ravnica needs and Golgari than she is about the overall multiverse. But if she's been betrayed by by Nicol Bolas, if Jace is able to bring out something in her to help others who are disenfranchised, others who are oppressed, then it's not unreasonable to think that maybe we could see her join the Gatewatch, and maybe in a sense that Tamio is technically part of the Gatewatch, but not. She doesn't have an oath card yet. She's kind of their liaison, more or less. She finds them clients. So maybe something like that. But the biggest question I'm raising in this video is if she joins the Gatewatch, she's going to get an oath card. What would her oath card do? Now, to understand what the oath card would do, you have to kind of understand what the other oath cards did. First off, none of them were very expensive. I think the most expensive one is like Oath of Gideon, which is 1 white and 2 of any color. Oath of Liliana is also 1 black, 2 of any color. None of those so far go above, say, 3 mana. So let's assume that, and because this is multicolor, let's assume that this is like a Ajani's Oath, 1 black, 1 green. And that all the multicolor ones, assuming we get more, which I imagine we will be similar to that. Okay, let's say it's right now a green-black monocosting enchantment. Now, Oath of Vraska, it has to tie in our abilities because all the Planeswalker Oaths have been tied in with said abilities. And if you do not believe me, let us go over them. Let's go with the Oath of the Vajani first off. Oath of the Vajani, when it enters the battlefield, you put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Now, the enter the battlefield ability is always definitely tied to the Planeswalker in question, their abilities. Putting +1/+1 counters is a thing that Ajani does in spades. But then his secondary ability, Planeswalker spells you cast cost 1 less. Now, all their abilities always target a planes or affect Planeswalkers you control. Hence, it's kind of like a Super Friends deck sort of thing. Which I do possibly intend to make one of those at some point in my life. But yeah, so I don't see. I think that's where the green-white aspect comes in, but Johnny himself doesn't necessarily have such an ability. 1 second here. Dono dropped your bone. Whoa, that was gonna be bad. There you go. You dropped your bone. There's your bone. So there we go. And I want to make sure I'm still on the screen. Stop dropping things. Silly puppy. So yeah, that was Gianni's oath. Liliana's oath, like when you immediately play the spell, you sacrifice a creature. That's definitely a black ability, and Liliana definitely has a couple abilities like that. At the beginning of each end step, if a planeswalker you control, if a planeswalker enters the battlefield under your control, put a 2/2 zombie. That's again very Liliana-esque black ability with her first ability. I mean, you look at Jace is. One second. There we go. Jace enters the battlefield, draw 3 cards, discard 2 cards, a very Jace-like ability, a very blue ability. Begin your upkeep, scry X, where X is the number of planeswalkers you control. Again, a very Jace-like ability. So basically, I mean, going over it again, like when Oath of Chandra enters the battlefield, deals 3 damage. Deals 3 damage to target creature at the beginning of end step. If a planeswalker you control enters the battle, or planeswalker enters the battlefield under your control, you may deal. It deals 2 damage to each opponent. The card. So essentially, one ability, whichever one it is, always has to tie with the planeswalker themselves, and the other ability seems to have some sort of color specificity, specific color ability that goes with it. So the question is, knowing what Vraska is capable of overall, what would be her ability on her Oath card? Well, again, we've already established it more than likely would be just green and black. One green, one black mana. In terms of the enter the battlefield ability, I have a feeling it would be something along the lines of putting either a token into the battlefield or destruction ability. Destruction, obviously, because she's a Gorgon and destroys items. But and I'm just going to make sure that I'm not really tiny here. There we go. That it destroys, because she destroys items. She's always got a destruction ability. But she's also always capable of putting a token onto the battlefield. Now, the question is, what is the more likely ability you're going to see on there? I honestly think, and because they'd always be rare, I honestly think it would probably be a destruction spell. But I think it would be a limited destruction spell. Actually, you know what? I'm going to flop that, actually. I think you would probably get something along the lines of maybe a 1/1 assassin or something like that. A very low, token creation. But then it's every time a planeswalker comes in the battlefield, Gorgon's Gaze, you destroy something. I think that is the most likely candidate in that scenario. And I'd say that because when you look at it from a gameplay standpoint, I mean, you could destroy something. It's either one or the other. That's what I think. It's token production, then destroying something. Or vice versa. I think that's the case. Because you're either playing Planeswalkers and creating more tokens to protect said Planeswalkers, which would be really good, and using it pretty much as a destruction spell and then that effect. Or you are using it as a token creation card and then using it as a perpetual destruction so long as you have Planeswalkers to play. So yeah, that's either way, it'd be a pretty hacked card. No, I'm not saying that is exactly what it would be. That's just me saying what I think it's going to be. And I got a bone in my hand. Dumbo likes her bones. She likes to chew on stuff. Now, what do I think the actual likelihood of her joining the Gatewatch story-wise is? It's not 100%. It's definitely not 100%. But it's also not 0% or 10%. I would say, as we're looking at the story right now, it's a 50-50. It's more or less 50-50 right now. If I were to push it one way or the other, I'd go a little on the higher end. She joins the Gatewatch than a little on the lower end. But like I said, it's right as the way we left the story off today. It's right down the middle, or yesterday as of the recording. Well, today as of the recording of this video. Yesterday as of the upload of this video. So yeah, not guaranteed, but it's that close right now from where we see it. Particularly how they are developing the relationship between Jace and Vraska. So I am interested to see how that comes to a head. If that relationship is destroyed, blossoms, who knows? And if blossoms, I want some cat fight between Liliana and Vraska. It's he's my man. No, he's my man. You've abandoned your man. Yeah, well, he still loves me anyway. You know he loves me. He's yeah, I do love her now, Liliana. It's no, you love me. I'm a mind reader. I'm a psychic. I don't have to believe anything you say. I can make you believe anything I say. It's damn, he's got a point. But anyway, if you think differently, cool. Let me know. It's fun to discuss this kind of stuff. As always, like, comment, share, subscribe. I hope you enjoyed. If you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Also, ideas for who would win, Star Wars, superhero, magic, what if, anything I do on the channel, put that in the comments below. Let me know. I will get to it at some point. Tomorrow will be, or today, technically, will be The Foreigner, the Jackie Chan movie. I'm actually kind of looking forward to that one. Granted, I was looking forward to Blade Runner also, and look at that turned out. But we'll see. No, honestly, it looks like it's a different type of film too. It looks like a kind of like the account reminds me of that a bit. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.